Whatever you're writing, nailing tone of voice is probably the hardest thing there is to do. Get it right, and your reader's going to feel an instant connection with your brand.
Oh, scrumptious, bumptious smoothie. I don't know what I love more. Your squishy, squashy strawberryness, or your cutesy, wootsey wordies.
Get it wrong, and you're going to completely alienate them.
Hegel's account of Kantian dualism was, like, totally gnarly in it, mate?
Here's 7 factors that will affect your tone of voice. First off, sentence length. Generally, the longer your sentence is, the more formal your tone of voice. Although, even for really formal writing like academic essays, you'll want to be careful not to make your sentences too long, because that's going to affect how readable your writing is. And in a less formal environment, you may be able to get away with much shorter sentences. Used well, even one-word sentences can help you get your message across powerfully and persuasively. Word choice too will affect your tone of voice, and again, the shorter the words, the less formal the style. Compare, for example, prerequisite with the more colloquial a must, or prior to compared with before. Again, even with academic writing, you don't want to be using long words simply for the sake of it. As George Orwell famously said, never use a long word when a short one will do. And if you're working for a very modern creative company, you might be able to get away with slang or even swearing. I once worked with a firm whose 4 company values, stated in all the HR literature, were brave, smart, humble, and give a shit. Another thing that affects tone of voice is the use of active rather than passive verbs. For example, personal development is encouraged sounds less friendly and more formal than we'll invest in your personal development. And to quote George Orwell again, never use the passive when the active will do. All these factors will affect your overall readability. In general, the longer your sentences, the longer and fancier your words, and the more you use the passive voice, the more formal your writing will sound. But even for academic writing or formal business writing, you want to keep your writing as readable as possible. As a former editor of mine once said, even a lawyer will never complain that something's too easy to read. Another factor affecting tone of voice is how pronouny your writing is. For example, address your reader directly with the pronoun you rather than as, for example, the client, or talking about we and us rather than the company, are examples of pronouny style. And that pronouny style is going to give your writing a certain feeling of friendliness. Another factor that affects tone of voice is the use of contractions. For example, you'll and your. They sound more conversational than you will and you are. In an academic essay, you'll want to spell out these contractions, but in a piece of business writing, you'll probably be able to get away with them. And the final factor that affects tone of voice is the extent to which you depart from traditional grammar rules. For example, depending on your reader, in much business writing, you can probably get away with starting sentences with and or but. But you'll probably want to stick to the formal rules of grammar for more academic pieces. I'm Dr. Clare Lynch. Subscribe to the channel for more quick writing tips. Squishy, squashy strawberryness. What am I, a child? Infantile.